Hey YouTube, what's going on? We're going to be checking out the new exhaust I put in my Mustang. This is the Gibson Racing Street, I believe. I can't remember the exact model, but it's a 5-inch tip, stainless steel, full catback exhaust. So let's crank it up and see how it sounds from inside the cabin. So you can see, pretty beefy sound. We're gonna go ahead and take this thing for a ride around the neighborhood, some little back roads that I've got on here, just so you can kind of hear the sound from inside, give you a little feedback on what I think about the exhaust. Let's go for a ride. All right, we're back and we are driving my 2015 Mustang GT Performance Package. I recently put the Gibson Racing exhaust, and of course I can't remember which model I got, but Gibson Racing, great company, great build quality. You know, I was looking around for a lot of different exhausts, or there were a lot of options, I should say, and I looked online. You know, that's the one nice thing about this car. There are so many choices and options to choose from, but therein lies the problem, right? Because you're trying to decide, what do I get? They all sound pretty good. You know, I really like the Borla Type S. It's a favorite amongst Mustang owners, and I mean, beautiful exhaust, sounds great, but I'm cheap as hell and I just could not justify the price, right? And I'm sure it's well built. It's definitely worth the money they asked for it. It sounds phenomenal. I've heard it in person. No complaints. I'm cheap. You know, I didn't want to spend the $1,200–1,300. I mean, you might be able to get it cheaper. So I kept looking around. MBRP was an option in what I like to spend for stuff, and also the Gibson Racing. And I gotta tell you, when I heard the sound, I was at a car meet down in you know, Caffeine and Octane down in Perimeter Mall here in Atlanta, which happens every first Sunday of every month, I believe. And I went down there, got a chance to hear one, and just fell in love with the exhaust. So I went down to Summit Racing and picked one up, and I gotta tell you, I'm extremely happy with the decision. My only complaint, and before I get to that, let me tell you about the installation itself. Let me take my sunglasses off. It got dark pretty quickly here. It's a nice little back road I like to cruise around in. So why don't we do some runs? Let me lower the window real quick so you can hear the outside. Hopefully there's no Federalis here that'll pull me over. So go down to third gear here. I don't want to go too fast, but as you can see, it sounds phenomenal. I love the sound. It's the way this car should sound from factory, I should say. And the Gibson Racing just brings out that Coyote engine. You know, it's just music to my ears. I get thumbs up everywhere I go. You know, people honk at me, letting me know how phenomenal it sounds, how great the car looks. That's second gear. I mean, just phenomenal. the law will appreciate, so we won't be doing too much of that. And I only got up to 35 kilometers, by the way, so we're not going very fast, following the speed limit here. Yes, kilometers. This is in a private racetrack in Mexico, of course. But anyways, let me roll the window back up and get to my only complaint about the Gibson Racing exhaust is right around 1500 RPMs, between 1500 and 2000 RPMs in 6th gear. The drone is just out of this world. Let me make a right here real quick. Come to a 3-second stop. So let's go to 6th gear and cruise. And you can now probably hear everything's rattling inside the car. It is a Mustang after all. Just kidding, don't get mad. But yeah, I feel like the drone is just a little too much. Everything else, I love the way it idles. I love the sound when you go full throttle in this thing, or half throttle, or just coasting. But at 1500 to 2000 RPMs, it's just a little too much drone. On the highways, it's not too bad. You know, typically you're going to be going 60, you know, between 60 and 80 miles per hour. And it's not that bad. If I'm in 5th gear, which I am right now, right about 2200 RPMs, it's not that bad. And if I back off the throttle just coasting like I am right now, you can hear some of that rumble too as I let off the gas, which is kind of nice. You know, that's not bad. I can live with that, right? That's almost as quiet as the factory exhaust. But if I go to 6th gear, I'm coming up on a stop sign here, so I gotta slow down. But if I go to 6th gear, the drone just becomes unbearable. And you know, I guess it's a trade-off, right? I mean, what are you gonna do? If you want a good loud exhaust, that's the price you're gonna pay. But I do love the way this thing sounds, and the build quality, for anybody that has any concerns about the fit and finish or the build quality, I gotta tell you, this is as good as any exhaust I've ever had in any of the cars that I've built. No complaints whatsoever, no concerns. So if you're, you know, wondering, because it's half the price than most of the other exhaust systems out there, if you're gonna get a you know, not great quality product, that is not the case whatsoever when it comes to Gibson Racing. The fit and finish was phenomenal. You know, I was able to do it with minimal tools in my garage. I don't even have that many tools, in about 45 minutes. And I got to tell you, 30 minutes of that was taking off the factory exhaust system, which unfortunately is about 70 pounds, I think I've heard. I didn't weigh it myself, but I think I've read that on the forums that it is about 70 pounds. And that was the only problem. You know, I don't have a lift, so of course trying to get that one-piece full catback exhaust system that weighs about 70 pounds on my own, I've got no friends, so unfortunately it's tough for me to ask somebody to come over. Just kidding. But anyways, you know, trying to get that whole thing from under the car with a basic jack system and ramps was quite a challenge, because it's all one piece. So anyways, just wanted to give you a quick update on the exhaust. I love it. Thumbs up. Only concern, like I said, if you're worried about drone, this is not the exhaust for you. Definitely go with some of the more higher end systems that eliminate drone, at least according to the reviews. The Borla Type S was my #1 choice, but I just at the end could not justify the $1,100–1,200 for it. For me personally, not saying the exhaust is not worth every penny, because it is. But anyways, thumbs up on Gibson Racing exhaust system for the 2015 Mustang GT. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe, like, comment. I'll see you guys on the next video.